Hello, I'm Kerry from A Brilliant Thing, and I wanted to show you our Trauma Informed Communities Toolkit. So, a couple of years ago, we did some work in Bolton working with lots of different voluntary sector community organisations, and we co designed a set of tools and resources to support more trauma informed work in communities. So, trauma informed is about being safe and supportive of the people that you work for and with, as well as the within the services that you provide and working with communities. So the Trauma Informed Toolkit covers everything from partnerships to cultural considerations to the physical environment. And I just wanted to show you where everything was. So this is our website. We are a community interest company and we're really interested in healthy work and working in healthy ways. So trauma-informed ways, supportive ways, ways that help you regulate and feel like you can do your best work because you're also looking after yourself. And we think that results in your work shouldn't come at the cost of your own well-being. So this is the website, and where you need to go is to this page that says Brilliant Box and Tools and Resources. So in our tools and resources, we offer lots of development programs for community organisations and public sector partners and service-based organisations. And alongside our programs of work, we have some resources to help you do your own brilliant group work to support your own ways of working. So we have a book and a coaching card deck, and we do wellbeing kits. But what we're interested in here is the trauma informed communities. So it's a free toolkit empowering safe and supportive community work. So you just need to click on that tab, which will take you to this page here. You can also see some of our other resources and then click on this picture here. So trauma-informed communities, it was funded by Public Health, the development of this work, and it involved over 100 different organisations and people with lived experience of trauma and people working with people who experience trauma. And so we worked with lots of different people and did lots of workshops and co-design sessions to create this toolkit. So if you like, you can download the PDF of the toolkit, but it's very long. There are a lot of resources. So I would recommend either making a full copy of the toolkit. So this will help you create a folder with all of the resources in, or you can use it through the website. So each of these tabs, we've got what is it, why is it important, and who it's for, and then where do I start, how can we do it, and when do I use this in practice. And then we've got some blog posts here about the team and the contributors, about starting a conversation with colleagues or in the community about trauma-informed work. And then we've got a role guide here as well. So I'll show you that in a minute, but that's really helpful if you work in, if you want to know how you can use this toolkit within your own particular role. We've also got some other blog posts down here that we created during the work. So I'll go to the top. So each section, if you click on read more, we've got a quick definition and an audio explanation as well. So this is a short, easy audio to listen to. And then each of these links has got a different resource that you can use. So you can click on one of those links and it will take you to the resource. So I'll just click through a few others as well. Why is it important? Again, we've got our audio description. Here we've got a podcast episode that you can listen to. There's a page from Bolton Council on trauma-informed communities and a report about adverse childhood experiences. So if you're interested in any of the background and why it's important, you can have a look there. And then who is this toolkit for? We'll just click on that one. So here you can see we've started to pull together these different resources. So some of them are co-written with voluntary sector organisations, and some of them were co-created by a number of different groups. And we've also linked to some other resources that other people have made on their websites. So the UK Trauma Council, there's some great stuff on there. around childhood trauma. And yeah, so let's go back to, if we just think about, if we go to the how one, so how can we do it? So there's lots of resources in this one. So we've got resources about emotional literacy, compassion fatigue, reflective practice. And some of these are kind of prompts and ideas that you can use in your groups and with your organizations. So let's just go to one. So compassion fatigue. So here we've got a printable PDF. You can cut these out and they're flashcards for using within group work. And they're really conversation starters. And ways that you can kind of start having this conversation about compassion fatigue and how you're feeling within your team or group, and just open up some of those conversations. Let's have a look at another one. So we've got one here around, there's a checklist here. So this is a policies and procedures checklist for the kind of policies and ways of working that you might need to have within your organisation if you want to do more trauma-informed work. So some of these might be, policies that you keep and that guide your work, and some of them might be things that you want to think about a little bit more. And that was one of the things that groups are really keen to have. How do I ensure that I've got all the policies and procedures for safe and supportive work? And then let's have a look at one more. So co-design. So this one here, I won't click on it because it takes you to a few different resources, but this one is our session plans that we use for the co-design program to create the toolkit. So if you wanted to do any co-design, you could have a look at those session plans. And our trauma-informed statement of intent, this was created by the group as well. So recognizing that trauma can impact the physical, emotional, and overall well-being of the people we work with and our staff and volunteers. And our commitment set out how we intend to work to support trauma-informed practice in our organisation. And that's a statement that we've asked people to adopt through this work. So I'll just go back to the main page again. This Starting the Conversation blog post is written by one of our partners who works for an organisation that supports apprenticeships. And he wrote this. He's from not necessarily from the community sector world, so he's from a slightly different world. So it's quite an interesting to read his reflections on what trauma-informed practice needs to look like and feel like, and how to start having those conversations. So you might want to have a look at that as well. And then compassionate leadership. These sessions were great that we ran with community organisations. So this blog post was written by Daisy. So Daisy was one of our facilitators, and she did a session which was about a compassionate leadership assessment, and then how kind of an exploration of how to become more compassionate within your leadership and within your organisation. So do have a look at the toolkit. I hope you find it useful. And we run some more sessions in Bolton around, we have something called Compassion Circle, which will be starting again in January. And Compassion Circle is all about creating a space for people who are already doing trauma-informed work or are starting to do trauma-informed work to come together, share best practice, be inspired by each other. So if you're interested in that, just email me. It's kerry@brilliantthing.co.uk. Thanks, everyone. Bye.